Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It's me. It's Mike Lepre, King Michael. This is Legit Fantasy Football, brought to you by Legit Fantasy Sports. I drink a sip of water. With me, as always, Mastrodamus M1. How are you tonight, bud?
Excellent, as always.
We keep rolling on.
We keep rolling on. Football never stops. And it was funny because before the shoe dropped today, I was going to say the shoe's going to drop soon, and it did. And now I think everything will be moving nicely. Let's see.
Yes. Let's bring in another opinion, and a genius one at that. Genius Kev, how are you tonight, my friend?
Doing pretty
So
good,
handsome.
King. How's it going, Mastradamus?
Good. Take away the glasses. I want to see the face.
So Genius Kev is apparently building up his own little fan club, M1. I'm sorry,
I'm
buddy.
a fan.
Yeah, he's the one. Actually.
Reno.
Yeah, he's the one fan.
So
It's me over and over again.
I'm gonna bring up the elephant in the room, and we'll go right by it. We're missing someone tonight. We won't say who that is. If you've watched the show before, you know who it is. We're gonna get by. By the way, your brother called him Brother Jay, and I laughed so hard. He kept saying Jay. He kept calling him Brother Jay. That's the best thing I ever heard. So here's a question I want to start this all off with, right? I looked at this and I was like, whoa, really? And then all right, so it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers free agents. And when I saw who they were, and then I heard Bruce Arians, he was like, oh, I'm pretty sure they're all gonna sign. And it's like, yeah, all those guys. So I got Chris Godwin, Shaquille Barrett, Levante David, Gronk, Fournette, and Ndamukong Suh. How are you signing all? How are the Buccaneers pulling this off? What's going on that I'm missing? Genius Kev.
Not missing anything, King. There's no way they're signing all them. Shaq Barrett already ran his mouth. He's gone. I think Sue will go, and I think Godwin will go. I think those three will definitely go. Gronk will stay. And then Mike Evans said he's willing to kind of rework part of his deal to help Godwin stay, but Godwin's going to get a big money offer somewhere else. So I think those three you'll definitely see go, but Gronk will stay. And then you didn't mention Antonio Brown, I don't think. He's a free agent, right?
Yeah, I know. I don't. Yeah. He lives at Brady's house. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. How is he a free agent? He's not really free. He's trapped at Brady's house. M1, what do you think about all those free agents?
I'm so glad that Brother Ray is gone, because now that he is, I can throw poo-poo on him.
Yeah.
He was saying how unbelievably awesome it was. Like, Gronk just came to Tampa Bay. He came at like $13 million for nothing. And he was like the third best tight end on the team until O.J. Howard got injured. But anyway, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about how he will come back, because he already said, I'm on Tom Brady's back like a piggyback ride. He's a little boy on Tom Brady's back. That's what's going on down there. So he's got no leverage against Tampa Bay. We always knew Chris Godwin wasn't coming back. So let's take the money from Chris Godwin. Let's put it towards Shaq Barrett. Sue. I think Sue had a great year, but he had a beast of a line next to him.
Yeah.
He is replaceable. I think that it's basically Godwin's going to go. Gark will come back. Let's see what happens with Shaq Barrett.
Wow. You're going the opposite way about what I think it'll go. I think Godwin, if anything, is the one you want to keep, right? That's a guy you got to sign, no?
No.
Edelman's going to come back. Edelman's going to come down there. He's going to replace Godwin. He's going to come in on the cheap, and you're going to see New England reunion, and Godwin's going to go get his money. And I think Godwin actually might end up with the Patriots.
Yeah, that would be a good landing spot for him.
Or the Giants. What about Levante David? Because that to me is the best player of the group.
Yeah.
He's not going to command, you think, like ridiculous middle linebacker money somewhere? Kev?
He's probably like going to be in like the 13 to 15 million dollar range. The Bucks only have, I'm looking at it right now, only have 13 million under the cap with all those guys as free agents. So there's no way they're going to be able to pay him unless he takes some kind of hometown discount, which people are doing less and less of. So I could see David leave. I could see Godwin leave. Sue's a mercenary, so who knows if he gets a good deal somewhere else. I think he would go, but maybe he doesn't get a good offer and he stays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sue is on every roster every year.
Yeah.
Honest to God, like he's like every time I'm talking about a team, it's like, oh yeah, they got Ndamukong Suh. How is that possible? How many teams does he play
what
for?
though?
6?
Sue's been paid, and this might be an opportunity for him to make his mark in the league. And there is something to the point of repeating. So if they all feel like they need to pump their chest out, repeat, put their foot in the ground, there's one thing that I gotta say about Brady. It's a lot of people. Hold on, right? We all get old. It doesn't matter who we are. But to control a locker room and continue to make that locker room want to win for you, you got to be believable in some sort of the sense to the point where whether you're faking the funk or whether you're half believable, these people want to win for this man. So there's a lot of organizations where you got Aaron Rodgers who's putting his pinky up, and then you got Jay Cutler with his face down, and all these other people who just have all these other things going on. I just do believe that Tom Brady, that brings some element to the point where he's believable to the point where he'll get people to want to win for him. And I think that will bring some of these people to stay.
All right, but wait a minute. So for the record, though, in my opinion, Fournette and Ndamukong Suh care more about making money than winning another championship. Those two guys, I think, would rather get paid than win another Super Bowl. I don't think Suh cares that much. I don't think he does. He's always been a me first, like, arrogant type of guy. Like, he wants to cash in. He's not going to set his mark. He's already set his mark in the NFL. He's like a cheater. He's like a stomper. He's a bully. Same thing with Fournette.
Might leave. Fournette could leave. And I wouldn't blame him if he did. He took what he did and he made the most out of this situation. But there is something to the effect that he made a comment in an interview a few weeks back that he just wanted to be wanted. Tom Brady and Tampa Bay made him feel like they wanted him. Jacksonville never. He goes, you got to understand this. He goes, I was a top 3 overall pick or 4 overall pick. He goes, I was doing what I needed to do. He goes, but I wasn't doing enough. And he goes, when Tampa Bay made the call, he goes, it wasn't just Tom Brady. It wasn't just Bruce Arians. He goes, there was a lot of people on the team that was courting me. He goes, that made me feel like I'm. Yes.
Are you and not Fournette? All right.
Funny because he's just a small little piece because Ronald Jones is nice. But Fournette is, and he came on late and he was a beating. I've been on the other end when you just don't want to keep tackling this guy. He just wants to keep putting his head into your chest.
No one likes those running backs. No one likes those running backs. And by the way,
nobody likes them. So it's
moving to another subject. The person who got screwed the most, the person who screwed themselves over the most in the last, I don't know how many years, is Dak Prescott. Dak was about to sign a contract that made him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Wait for it. But then he thought, his agent said that the cap was supposed to get so much bigger that if he signed the next year, it would have been a difference of like I think $10 to $14 million. What happened to Dak? Well, we had a virus. And now the salary cap only went from 175 to 180. It did increase, which is weird because there's no fans, but only by $5 million. They thought it was going to go like 175, literally there's some blown out number like 120, like it was supposed to go really high, and Dak was going to cash in. Now Dak didn't, and now he's sitting at this position with the Cowboys. Now what? Kev,
we all know how it goes. The Cowboys give in and they make the fucking deal and they give it to him.
I want to hear Kev with the numbers. Kev, now what? signing.
They're going to offer him some stupid deal. You know me. I don't love Dak. I've been open about that, but they're going to offer him some stupid deal. If they don't get it done, which I don't. If I were him, I wouldn't even care about it. They're going to have to franchise him again, and he's going to make like another over $40 million if they franchise him again. So if he wins either way, and then after this year, he'll still get that mega deal. So I'm not worried about Dak. I wish they would have played a little hardball with oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. I'm blanking on their running back's name because I'm so all over the guy. I can't even remember his name. You know the guy that Tony Pollard should be starting over, Ezekiel Elliott. They should have played hardball with him instead of caving while the guy was in freaking Cabo, like screwing around, smoking weed, and instead they paid him the highest paid running back like in NFL history, and now he should be backing up Tony Pollard. So I wish they played hardball there. Now they painted themselves in a corner where they're going to pay Dak if Dak lets them pay him. If not, they're going to franchise him, and Dak's going to collect $40 million and then go next season.
He screwed it up though. Like if he would have just signed that contract. Done. You know what I mean? He's there. He's making the money. But they could get rid of him. You know what I mean? He has a shitty year, and then what? You know what I mean? I don't know. I think greed sometimes. People they're looking in the. He's like the dog with the bone looking in the water is what he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good analogy because the whole sticking point was the duration of the deal. Yep. Cowboys wanted 5. Dak wanted 4, and that was it. They couldn't get over that. And that was the end of it. Because I can see your analogy, but I think he'll be fine unless he has a horrendous year. And I don't know if you heard he had to get another cleanup procedure in his knee. Supposedly it's supposed to accelerate his recovery, but I wouldn't believe anything anybody says about that. But I'm not worried. I'm not worried about him. I don't even like him. I would love it if they were smart enough to just move on. But
it sounds like you've been watching Saved by the Bell a little bit too much.
Oh, Zach.
If you are not liking Dak Prescott, you are out of your mind.
No.
Out of your mind.
What's there to really like about Dak Prescott?
He's a winner. He's a winner, and every single year he's bet on himself, and he's only one out. And I like Dak. I think he's not only did he finish number 1 in passing and had a lot of stats this year before he was injured. He's the engine. I think that they'll bring him. What is it?
Kev, can you call him a winner?
No, I don't call him a winner. Yes. That's why I don't like him. That's the problem with the Cowboys. They put all their eggs in the baskets of non-winners. You know, that's the whole thing. That they pay these guys, they pay people mega amounts of money, and they're not winners. That's the worst part about it.
That's my thing, man. I don't think Dak's a winner. That's my issue with him. I don't think he's a horrible quarterback. I just like to say he's a winner is the last thing I think I would open up with him.
Yeah, I mean,
I love Dak Prescott. I think Dak is a winner, and I think Dak is probably the best quarterback in Dallas. I actually like him better than Tony Romo.
He's better than
Dak Prescott.
Did you just say he was the best quarterback in Dallas?
Yeah, so that covers like all the high schools. A lot of 5-star high schools.
I didn't hear in a long time. I was going to say well, no kidding. Yeah, he's a star. That's great.
I like Bob DiNucci too. I like Bob DiNucci.
Oh, Ben DiNucci.
Andy
Dalton.
Yeah. Is it Ben DiNucci?
Yeah, Ben DiNucci.
DiNucci, I like him.
This is all you need to know, King and Mastradamus. I know Ben DiNucci's name. I don't know Dak Prescott's name, and I don't know Ezekiel Elliott's name, but I know Ben DiNucci's name. That's all you need to know about what's going on in Dallas. That's all you need to know right there.
Zach again.
Yeah, I did that on purpose. That was on purpose.
Right. Yeah. All right.
That's
touching on the biggest news, right? And we're having like a weird internet thing. It's not lagging this time, but I think the weather, there is inclement weather. You know, this is February 18th, 2021. We're in the New England area. It is, snowing. It's not like it is in Texas where, God damn it, everything froze up. Those spinning things froze. They're screwed.
Hey,
that's not good.
Is everyone really sad about the Texans? They got a little bit of cold. We got it all the time, okay? Please.
Yeah, no, but it froze the shit that cleans the water. So I'm a little worried about that. I think everybody should drink clean water at the least. Now,
I was in boot camp. I was in boot camp in Fort Jackson, South Carolina in 2002, and there was a little dusting, and they shut down the whole battalion. And there was like one drill sergeant stayed for everybody, and they
Watch out,
there
you
was a
gotta slip.
dusting.
Watch
There was
out,
a
you might
dusting.
slip.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
That's right. You're like, what is this shit?
Big news of the day. Eagles trade Carson Wentz to the Colts for 2021 third-round pick. And then for some reason, I keep seeing the word possible 2022 second pick. I don't know why it would be possible.
No,
So what do we think about this trade? All right. Now, here's how we're going to do it. Genius, you're going to be the Eagles. Mastradamus, you're going to be the Colts. Tell me what you won in this trade, okay? Genius, you're the Eagles. You traded away Carson Wentz, and you got those 2 picks. Tell me how you won.
All right. So first of all, just to clarify the deal, it's a 2021 pick, as you said. The 2022 pick is a second rounder, unless he plays 75% of the snaps or plays 70% and they go to the playoffs. Then it becomes a first round pick.
Ooh, all right.
Okay. So as a team, I don't think we made out that great in terms of what we got back, unless he actually does well for the Colts. I would take a first round pick for him, would be great. But the real thing is just the culture, getting him out of the locker room, turning the page, going forward with Hurts, and just doing it with a clean slate, going all in on Hurts. I think that's the biggest thing we won. But I wish I were the Colts, because I'm not all that impressed with myself for making this trade, because actually I don't want to say these things. So I'm going to steal Mastradamus' thunder. So I'm going to say we won it because I got a potential first round pick back, and I cleared the decks, and I can go with Jalen Hurts. So it was a clean slate, new head coach, new quarterback, 1 year of salary cap hell. Then we're out of salary cap hell in 2022, and we go forward from there.
Okay. Kind of makes sense to me. Mastradamus, you are Colts. You got Carson.
Oh, hell to the no, you didn't win this trade. You got $33.8 million in cap space, dead hit, and it's the largest in history. And I'm the Colts.
Is it?
I have a team that has unbelievable running backs, wideouts, tight ends, defense. And all I was looking for was a quarterback. I had Phillip Rivers, who was a mannequin and was just basically a game manager this year. Now I have a young man who has a lot of upside, MVP potential, and all I need to do is work with all that I have in this offense. It's nothing but a no-brainer. The Colts lose nothing, and they're already borderline Super Bowl contenders.
All right, but here's my thing, okay? I'm going to be the third party on this trade, the outside observer. And how come all of a sudden now that a broken quarterback who we watch fall apart on TV in front of our own eyes week by week by week by year, how come all of a sudden now he's the savior of the Colts? I mean, I think the Eagles might have won this, because if you're saying they're going to get a third and then a second that could become a first for Wentz, dude, I think Wentz is AD all done. I think you got nothing. You're going to get nothing from Wentz. I really do. I don't know. Maybe I'm out of my mind, but I can't see how. It's so weird how we do this too. The NFL does this, media does this. Like, think about it. They talked about it all day long and hyped it all up about how Wentz was now the last piece of the puzzle for the Colts to win the Super Bowl for the next couple years to come. And friggin' Wentz couldn't even win the starting job on the Eagles, who suck.
Yeah.
So, Matt, tell me, am I wrong in saying that? Wentz is not a good quarterback right now.
Absolutely wrong. When they saw the chance to get Jalen Hurts, they knew the quarterback that they were getting, and they knew that Carson Wentz was breaking down with injuries. He also was just not really. Listen, Alshon Jeffrey's not a number one. He's never been. He's always been injured. He only plays like 2-3 games a year. Then you had Nelson Aguilar, who just really kind of caught on with the Raiders.
He's always
had Zach Ertz. He didn't really have too much to work with. He's been there, but he's not that team that was on that with Nick Foles won was a great team. And I even said it before the KC Chiefs choked in the Super Bowl. I said that team was better than the KC Chiefs, and they were, and they are. They're a better team.
But Wentz, it's the guy.
I like Wentz. I think Wentz. I think sometimes relocation is good. I like Wentz. I think there's a lot of upside with him, and he doesn't need to do a lot with that team. Like Michael Pittman is very nice. Zach Pascal. We're not even talking about T.Y. Hilton, who actually started looking like T.Y. Hilton in the end of the year. Then you got Jonathan Taylor, and then we could talk about the backs. We're not even talking about Marlon Mack, who might come back.
I know, but
they're all right. They're all right.
All right, but Kev, in between these two things, is Wentz going to be able to be the starting quarterback for the Colts?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, and that's why when you say do the Eagles win the trade, if Wentz plays like he did last year, they crush the trade because they got a third-round pick and probably a second-round pick because if he's that bad, they're not going to make the playoffs. And I can say I unloaded the 28th worst starting quarterback in the NFL for a third-round pick and a second-round pick. But the things that Mastradamus is saying are correct. Like, he's not going to have to be a superstar there. Look at the offensive line they have. Colts' offensive line is really good. They have the wide receivers that Mastradamus said. The running backs they have are Jonathan Taylor, and they have Nyheim Hines. The defense has been solid. So if he's just competent and Frank Reich is as smart as Frank Reich is supposed to be, then they might be able to mask some of the problems you saw this year, and he would be an upgrade from Phillip Rivers. But if he falls apart mentally, like you're saying, with all that talent around him, then his career is over. He's absolutely done. But
when they start to slide athletes like that, they never really come back. I mean, they kind of do, but they don't. When they start to really fall apart and it gets in here and it gets in here, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like they live with it. Sometimes they don't come back. And Wentz, I don't know, man. He doesn't seem like maybe it's just because I don't really. It's not that I don't really like him. I don't really care. I care less about him. He's the Carson Wentz. He was a high pick, but he didn't look good at all last year. He looked like he was like pressing. He was just squeezing the ball extra hard. He was like, you know what I mean? He was just like Carson Wentz. He was just like Carson Wentz is what I want to say. So let me go more from him last year. I really did. Was that? What'd you say?
I expected a lot more from him last year. I did.
Oh yeah. No, he had to. Let's go to another team.
Sorry. Okay. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
All right. The Bears. What do the Bears do at quarterback? Because they have now officially been linked to Gardner Minshew, Derek Carr, Marcus Mariota, and even Dak Prescott. Like, they are looking for all options. I actually dug deeper and went into the Bears. They're like beat writers. So that's their A-list of quarterbacks they wish they could get. Minshew, Carr, Mariota, and Dak, right? Cheaper options they put for free agents. The Bears. Listen. Think about how they're thinking as an organization. Their second list is Fitzpatrick, Winston, Cam Newton, Tyrod Taylor, and back to Mitch Trubisky. And then they have a C grade of 3 quarterbacks in Alex Smith, Jacoby Brissett, and Andy Dalton. Now, did they just find the worst quarterbacks in the league and just label them? Or what the is going on with this list? Why are the Bears such a bad organization that these are the guys they're targeting? Kev?
King, I'm going to say you probably put more effort into their quarterback search than Ryan Pace or Matt Nagy did. Just the research you did right there. I guarantee you Nagy didn't do that or Pace. That's awful. And the only one that I could have seen that would have really helped them was probably Matt Stafford. And he went to the Rams. Forget Wentz. Wentz wouldn't have helped. I'm trying to think of
what do you think of the ones they're looking for?
I'm looking at
Mariota.
Forget Minshew. I already said career backup. How is Mariota going to thrive in Chicago? Mariota's a head case himself. He had the most stable guy in the world, Arthur Smith. He couldn't make Mariota work. So forget him. Winston would be awesome there. I would like to see Jameis Winston there because then Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace would get fired after 2021, which is what should have happened this season, because that would be such a fun shit show to watch. Like Winston trying to throw the ball around on that team would be amazing to watch. But they don't have anybody. Like that list you said, what problem are they trying to solve, King? That's the real question. They're not going to get to a Super Bowl with any of those guys, right? So now what problem are they trying to solve? They might, they're trying to save themselves the embarrassment of admitting that Trubisky's a bust. So they have to get somebody there, but they're not going to go to the Super Bowl with any of those guys. So, what problem are they trying to solve?
We froze again there, guys. You came back. I heard you talking, Kev. You came back, then all of a sudden I heard something about the Bears at the end of it. We're getting the little spitty things. Goddamn weather outside.
It was I was handing it off to Mastradamus because he looked like he heard the whole thing. He looked like it was a perfectly clean video of him. So
Mastradamus, what's the deal with them? Which one of those quarterbacks would you actually even consider going after?
I got to be honest with you. I wanted to talk about this as soon as it broke about Carson Wentz, because I got to believe that this means the Bears are standing pat. I don't believe that they're going to go after any of those named quarterbacks. I think they're going to stand pat. I think that they might maybe bring in somebody to challenge Trubisky. I do think Foles will probably be out. I think that they liked with what Trubisky did towards the end of the year. He provided a lot of spark. I think that's something to look forward to. I think, how I think. I think that somebody who knows the playbook is more successful than bringing in somebody and learning the playbook. And we'll see. I think that now that they lost out on Carson Wentz, I think that was their biggest play, and I think that there's not really much out there. But I'm going to tell you this. I think that in the first 10 picks in the draft, we're going to see a lot of trading. A lot. More than usual. We're going to see more. We're going to see probably 3 to 4 quarterbacks taken in the top 11 picks, 12 picks.
Yeah.
We're going to see a lot of trading.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, there's a lot of free agent quarterbacks. There's a lot of names. It's like musical chairs. The music's going to stop. Where the fuck are these guys going to sit? You know what I'm trying to say?
But who?
Can I mention something? Because Mastradamus brought up a very, very good point, an angle that I hadn't thought of. Because we all heard last week Philly was holding out for 2 first-round picks. That's what they were holding out for. Remember last week?
Yeah, that's what they started with.
They traded them for a 3rd and a 2nd that might become a 1st. That means Chicago wouldn't even offer that because Chicago is going to be a worse team than Indy, right? So if Chicago offered the same package, you would have gone with Chicago. So that means, like Mastradamus said, they really are stepping back. They're making it seem like they're out there, but they didn't get Wentz, and that Wentz was very gettable for that price. If you're Chicago,
but what if you just think
that's a very good point?
What if you think Wentz just is bots, and you're just like I'm not picking. Like, what if that's their stance? Like, I don't blame them for saying that. Go get Fitzpatrick.
Well, they know that we've talked about it many times. Trubisky to Wentz. What is the this? First of all, from one quarterback to the next is not that big of a jump from most. 1 to 15. It's really 15 to 30 that is the biggest jump. I think Trubisky is a 12 to 15 quarterback, maybe. And if you could coach him correctly, we've seen him at times look very successful. What you need to put around him, like I love Allen Robinson. He might be gone, but what has he had around him? Like, I don't want to. I like it because I never said nothing to Brother Ray. I am a week-to-week guy. I got David Montgomery on a lot of my teams. We won championships together. He had the best matchups for any running back the rest of the way. It's not that he was the best running back. Yeah. It was he had the best matchups. And they do need a banger. They need a Fournette. I still think there's an issue there with the running back. Trubisky needs – I'm not saying Trubisky's nice.
They're done with him, though.
He's never had anything.
I was done with Trubisky. They're going to try to find someone to take his spot.
I don't agree with that.
I don't think. No, I think he's done. They're gonna end up with, like I said, they're gonna end up with like a Fitzpatrick, which would make sense. And then
I don't think
he'll
so.
end up beating out Trubisky. That's what happens.
Nope.
It happens every year, dude. It just change the logo, and then some quarterback's gonna play good for a while, and then Fitzpatrick's gonna take his spot.
They're running with Trubisky.
Play good for 3
is the
weeks.
starting quarterback of the Bears.
Who?
He said Trubisky.
Oh, come on.
Trubisky is the starting quarterback.
By the way, the quarterback that doesn't get enough respect is Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor has been shown that he can come in and hold the team down. I'm not going to say he's going to throw 4 touchdowns and lead you to some like gigantic thing.
You know what?
He holds
I love
down.
you, King, because you give props. You give props to the shittiest quarterbacks in the world with Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor. You know, I got to hit them up. I got to hit them up and let them know they got one fucking fan out there.
Tell me something about Tyrod Taylor then. How has Tyrod Taylor made it this long in the NFL?
Hey, look, I like Tyrod Taylor. I liked him when he was in Buffalo. I thought he was a solid guy, solid quarterback, but he's no flash. Like this.
No, but he's solid wherever he goes. And right now, if you're the Bears and you are an organization that's absolutely bots, you go and you get a quarterback like that. Someone to hold you down. Fitzpatrick, Tyrod Taylor. You don't go get Cam Newton. You don't go get Mariota. You don't get Minshew. You don't get Trubisky. You get a guy who comes in, learns the book, knows the guys, not going to make too many mistakes, and then Chicago can just churn out whatever they're going to churn out and let the shit come out the other side. They're just another team that's going to go nowhere. Right? It's like we watch these teams in turmoil, but they're not going to go nowhere. It's like the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's not true.
I can predict them 2 years off. I'll give you a 2-year prediction. They're not going to win.
That's not true at all.
For you. The Bengals will not win the Super Bowl in the next 5 years.
All right, you going to tell me this right now? You think Burrow and Baker Mayfield comparable?
Not yet, but I would prefer Burrow to Baker Mayfield.
I prefer Burrow also.
There you go.
I'm not a Baker Mayfield guy.
Did you see what's going on in the Steelers about Roethlisberger?
No.
They're not coming into him.
No,
Really?
yeah, I know that's why they signed
Haskins.
which makes no sense again.
No.
So now, what do you got to say about that division?
I still think it's junk. It's just junk. Listen, Baker
Who did Cincinnati jump all over this year and smack the shit out of the blue this year, and they just upset? Everyone was like, "What the hell?" Who was that? Was that Baltimore?
Baker Mayfield is to Brett Favre like John Cougar Mellencamp is to Bruce Springsteen.
Listen, I'm just telling you right now.
He's like a knockoff version of what they were trying to get. He's a gunslinger who's just not that good.
All right, I'm going to tell you this right now. Ready?
He's just not. Good.
I'm a big-time card collector. Big-time card collector. In about 4 minutes, Chica Sports Breaks from Pearl City, Hawaii is going to run a break. I spent about $400 to just be involved in their break for Cincinnati Bengals. That's it. The Don Russ Optic 2 boxes. That's it. They're going to open up 2 boxes. Joe Burrow. I expect Joe Burrow to be a beast with Hebert for the next decade plus. Not only are they going to lock it down, but Baker Mayfield is going to have to keep up with Burrow. We haven't got to see Burrow. And it's funny because you guys were mocking me about Mike Evans, and he hasn't had the opportunity of a career over like Randy Moss. Randy Moss is a nice receiver, but he's not like
one of the greatest of all time.
And the Megatron is the greatest of all time, and I would say probably the best wide receiver to ever lace him.
You know what? That's great question right there. That's a great side splitting thing because I would go the other way. Who's the better wide receiver? Who would you rather have, Calvin Johnson or Randy Moss?
Calvin Johnson all day long.
Randy Moss.
That's a tough question. I would probably say Calvin Johnson though, all around. I love Randy Moss too. I freaking love that guy. And by the way, we missed his birthday. His birthday was last Sunday when we were doing the show. When we were all when you guys were all making fun of him, I forgot to mention it was his birthday.
Huh.
I would go Calvin Johnson, but I love Randy Moss.
See, that's
Calvin Johnson was in a bad situation, and
okay, he was in Detroit.
Yeah.
Everybody in Detroit's in a bad situation.
I was just going to say that. Damn it! And you mean the whole city, not just the Lions. The entire.
Yeah. Amen.
All right, so guys, looking forward to the future. We're gonna have offseason, the free agency, and then we're gonna walk into the draft. What I want to do is I'm gonna review 5 kids. I call them kids because if you watch them play now, they look so young. Like, you want to talk about feeling old? Just watch these kids, like these college kids. They look like they're like 10. So 5 from each position that are going to be probably the top in the draft in their position. This is strictly offense. Start with the quarterbacks. Okay. I just want to get your opinions, if you have any, on certain guys. There's certain guys to me that I don't see the thing. Number 1's Trevor Lawrence out of Clemson. This kid looks like the real deal, right? I mean, that pro day was one of the most. It was just he threw everything. Everything they told him to throw, he threw, which it's weird. Like, was it just beautifully orchestrated, or is he just literally that damn good? Where it's just like, yeah, you want this throw, bang. You want this throw, bang. He's so friggin' tall and big and fast to be able to see over everybody. This kid might be the real deal. What do we think about this? M1.
Like I said, I'm a card collector, and I'm going hard at every single one of Trevor Lawrence's cards. He is the real deal. He's generational talent. Make every throw, big, tough. He's only got 2 losses in his collegiate career. People can say he's in a program that's built to win. I could say he built that collegiate program to win. He has brought that team to such success. I mean, it's been awesome since he's been there. I love Trevor Lawrence. I think Zach Wilson goes number 2. I don't think that it's any questions. I think Sam Darnold is done, and they are moving on with Zach Wilson. And I think from there on out, we're going to see what happens. I think.
Hold that thought. Genius.
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence.
No, I love him. Yeah, real deal. I mean, the only thing you can't tell about these quarterbacks from top 5, top 10 programs is how are they going to play when they get in a beating, like when their offensive line is not, one of the best offensive lines in the country, when their receivers aren't wide open. That's the only question you can have on him, but he can make every single throw. Like you said, he's 6'6", he's big, he's fast, his arm strength is great. There's no visible negatives. The only question is, can he handle losing because the Jaguars are going to suck, and can he handle when the pocket collapses and his receivers aren't wide open? That's the only question. But other than that, you can't answer that on anybody.
I don't think the Jaguars are just going to suck, Kevin.
But all right, but what he just said is the biggest thing that nobody ever adds up. The fact that he's playing on a college team that every time they play another team, they're superior at every position, right? Like, his team was just better than every team he played at every position. That's not, and the wide receivers got separation. They did all this stuff. The line was incredible. Like, the defense put him in great spots. Mm-hmm. It ain't going to be like that in the pros. And on top of that, he didn't have to go up every Sunday after just getting his face smashed in the ground and have to explain why they lost again.
We're talking about Trevor Lawrence, though. This has been year after year after year. He's been consistent. It's not anyone else around him making him great. He's great.
Hey, everybody.
He's going to go to the Jaguars. Listen. I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to go to the Jaguars next year, and he's going to be a game changer. You got the Tennessee Titans and you got the Colts, right? Colts are gonna add Carson Wentz. He's gonna take a game from the Carson Wentz.
Let me ask you this though. Here's my last thing on Trevor.
Who's gonna wait a minute? Who's gonna be running the shit in Texans? Of course they have an opportunity down there.
Have you ever seen him once get hit and knocked like smashed. You show me the film of him taking one dead solid shot that makes you wince.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to go and try.
It don't happen.
No,
you don't want to go and
to be very clear on this, I'm not saying he's not the number one prospect. I'm not saying he's not a generational prospect. I'm saying if you have a question, that's the only question you can have. He can make every throw. He's big, he's fast, but he hasn't seen this yet. There's other quarterbacks. Look at like Ryan Leaf is a great example. Look at somebody that has all the tools supposedly, and they get in the NFL. They can't make the reads fast enough. They can't throw receivers open. You know, the pocket's falling apart around them.
Yeah. Listen, I am not gonna compare Ryan Leaf to Trevor Lawrence. Ryan Leaf was a year flash in the pan at Washington State or Washington, and Trevor Lawrence has been consistent as they come for 3 years straight. And he could have came out last year and he didn't, and it was because he didn't want no part of coming to the NFL. I feel like we're going to be blessed to see Trevor Lawrence. I think that you're going to be surprised. We're going to talk about this next year around September, October, and you're going to see Jaguars at like 4-2, and you're going to be going, holy shit.
The thing is, it's always a bit of a crapshoot. There's always that one factor that makes quarterbacks sometimes not succeed. All right. But the number 2 quarterback is definitely Zach Wilson out of BYU. Are we all in agreement on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So is he going to be a franchise quarterback? Matt, Kev, who wants first? Because Zach Wilson, like I'm telling you, like I said, I look at all the quarterbacks and I said Trevor Lawrence is going to be a starter. But then when I'm looking at Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, and I'm going, I guess, but those 4 don't like.
I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead of Kevin. Ready? Because this is going to be easy for me.
Go ahead.
Since like the 90s, what quarterback can we say has been really good for the Jets besides Chad Pennington? I like Zach Wilson. I think he can be great. I think he's a good quarterback, but he's going into the black hole, and the black hole used to be the Raiders. I think the black hole is the Jets.
Mark Sanchez had one good season with the Jets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, other than that, though, Chad Pennington. He still led the NFL in completion percentage for a long time. Because he can't throw the ball farther than 5 yards. Kev, what do you think of like Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones? I mean, they all come from Ohio State, Alabama. Like,
I mean, I like Wilson. I'm not a huge fan of Fields, to be honest. But after him, I don't think Trey Lance is going to really do anything. I don't think Mac Jones is going to do anything. Trask, I'm not a big fan of. I think you got Lawrence and you got Wilson, and then they're tier 1. Fields is maybe a tier 2, and then the rest, tier 3 below.
See, I like Trey Lance better than I like Justin Fields. That's how I have him ranked. But again, I go by would I trade up for that guy? And the answer is no. I just would not do that. So let's move over to running backs. Which is weird. The first number 1 running back is also from Clemson, which plays into the whole thing about like he's playing with the best. I pronounce their last name wrong every time, but it's Travis Etienne.
Etienne. Yeah, Etienne.
Etienne, almost like Antiem. Antiem. All right. Travis Antiem. Antiem. I think that kid, like, so him, Najee Harris from Alabama, right? Then you got the 2 guys from North Carolina, Javonte Williams and Michael Carter. And then you got Ramondre Stevenson from Oklahoma. All big schools, right? Who do we think? Because the last couple of years, you get like a 2-3 running backs a year that are breaking out. Like literally, last couple of years, 2 years, but 2-3 running backs a year. Which ones jump off the page? And first of all, and secondly, how can there be 2 North Carolina running backs in the top 5? Right? You know what I mean? Like if it's 2 Alabama running backs, okay, I get that. 2 Clemson, all right. But North Carolina, who? Genius, help me out with that.
I love it. Yeah, I love it, love it. And the North Carolina had like that combination of running backs that everybody loves. They had like Williams, he was a like banger, 5'10", 220. And then you have Carter. Carter didn't even weigh 200 pounds, but he was a crazy receiver and he could run too. So I wish I watched them play more because I love teams like that, especially in college when you can really scheme them up getting the ball. So I think both of those guys have a chance. And King, what you said, is true. You're getting a lot of these rookie running backs who will get an opportunity because of what we've been talking about this entire season on this show is that veteran running backs aren't getting paid. You're better off taking one of these guys. You could probably get a Williams, a Carter in the third round, something like that. And they'll come right in, plug them in. They'll be half of your committee, backfield. But I'm really looking forward to the North Carolina guys.
What about you, Matt? Which ones jump off the page? I mean, Najee Harris that's one of my favorites, if not my favorite. But NTN had the better, showing. What do you think?
I'm not a fan. I haven't really watched a lot of college this past year. I love Najee Harris from Alabama. He's fantastic, but I can't really speak on it since I haven't seen the whole slate.
This has been the toughest year ever to watch, like college football.
It was.
Because of everything going on. It's so hard to pay attention to like the small schools and the like my mind can only handle so many sports. So when it gets to the level of like North Carolina, I'm not quite watching their games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gonna be even tougher and tougher to assess players if they're not out there on the field. You know what I mean? It's so scary.
Well, that's the thing with the combine, the lack of the combine. Right? The combine has been canceled officially, right? They're all going to be pro days from what I'm hearing. So that stinks.
We could see a really crazy draft. We could see a lot of talent going in crazy different directions.
Yeah, because there's a lot of kids who didn't even play last year. There's kids that just sat out a whole year, like Chase. What's his name? The wide receiver. One I'm always forgetting his name.
Chase.
They're going by his 2 years ago. So it's like it is going to be a weird. They didn't get to run them through the whole rigmarole of the Kev. All right, so that makes sense. Kev, without the combine, is it going to be a much more difficult draft, or is the combine really just overblown hype?
I think the latter. I think the combine is like a dog show. It's like the exactly. I think you have enough. You have enough data on most of these players. The problem is going to be the guys that didn't play at all last year. So like Jamar Chase, you're going by what he did a season ago, like you said. That worries me. But not having the combine, I don't think is that big of a deal because what they're the teams are smart enough where they're doing the interviews over Zoom. I mean, what's the difference? You have pro days. You're going by their game tape mostly is what you're going by. So the guys that skip the season are the tough ones. But I've never been a huge combine fan. It gets ratings and it's supposed to be a lot of fun and it's supposed to be like Indianapolis is supposed to be a really good time, but I don't think it's that huge of a deal.
Well,
what's big is the Senior Bowl. The Senior Bowl was huge. There's been a lot of players in the last few years that have been recognized and drafted high by having good showings in the Senior Bowl. The Senior Bowl not being there has been very detrimental.
It's been weird all over, to be completely honest. But let's look at the 5 wide receivers I have. Again, Jamar Chase, we just spoke of him. He's probably the number one. He's probably going to be the number one wide receiver, even over the 2 Alabama kids, which would be 2 and 3. Watt and I have it Waddle to Smith. Some people like Smith over Waddle. I'll take Waddle over Smith. Smith is too small. Like he's going to be too small. 175 does not cut into the NFL. What's that?
They're saying Smith is dropping. Yeah.
He's got to put on like 10, 15 pounds to me, in my opinion. You can't go at 175 pounds into the NFL and get your face smashed in. Waddle.
We'll see. I mean, Tyreek Hill is very small. Very small.
No, not small. It's him. Not like him.
How small is Tyreek?
Tyreek is. I don't think Tyreek is 6 feet. But
what do you think? What do you think Antonio Brown is?
I don't know.
Guessing 6'1", maybe 195.
180.
Really?
I'd say so.
Yeah, Tyreek is 5.
I'm going to tell you you're wrong.
Tyreek is.
I don't think so. What is Smith again?
175. But Kev, what did you just say about Tyreek Hill?
Tyreek is 5'10", 185.
That's a much bigger guy.
No, not much.
Yeah, it is.
Much.
Oh, yes,
No
it
way.
is.
No way.
185.
It's 10 pounds. 10 pounds is what it is. And you can work that. As a rookie, you don't really want him to be anything more than CeeDee Lamb. And then you have him build a little bit of muscle, and then you have him come in. What you want is to have him break out in about the third year. And if he could be that guy,
dude,
that's okay.
175, you get hit too hard, you're done. So I mean, that's why.
He's 6'1" too. Like he's big, he's tall. So maybe he can put muscle on that frame, because Waddle's only 5'10", 182. Smith is 6'1", 175. So if they can get him, like, they can get him up to 200 if he really wants to. That's what Chase is. Chase is 6'1", 200.
Here's the thing, Kev. If he could get up to that weight, he probably would have got closer in college. Like, he's a collegiate athlete. Like, he plays for fucking Alabama. They're pretty much an NFL team. You know what I mean? He could be 185. Waddle is a burner. Waddle is a speed person, right? All right, but so after those three, Chase, Waddle, and Smith from LSU and the two Alabama kids, you got Kadarius Toney from Florida and Rondale Moore from Purdue. Now, these two guys, in my opinion, are really good wide receivers. They're going to make really good pro receivers. However, they're kind of lost in the name game, this hype game, this whole, like, everyone's talking up the other three wide receivers nonstop, but you hear nothing about these two guys. When's the last time someone ever turned to you and said, hey, what do you think about Rondale Moore? It just doesn't happen. And these guys are going to be starting wide receivers in the NFL. So it's like, I don't know if you've even watched game tape on these guys, Kadarius Toney and Rondale Moore, but they're really good. And they're from Florida and Purdue, which are not like, it's not like CCRI. So what do you do if you're those guys? And I'm being honest. If say you two are, Matt, you're Tony and Kev, you're Rondale Moore, and you're sitting there with your agent, how do you get your name in more people's heads? Like, what do you do to try to get yourself drafted higher and break through those three names? Ideas, gentlemen?
See, King, this is funny. This is where the combine would help. I fucking tear it up at the combine. The beauty pageant. The thing I just said was useless. I go there and I tear it up. Like, what was his name? DK Metcalf showed up like he was friggin' chiseled out of stone.
This is what I'm saying, though. So you're going to miss those guys that show up and they go boom, and everybody goes, holy Jesus, where did these guys come from? Because right now you're just going by names, so you can't break through those three names. Matt, the only way that you can try to, like, if you're like the fourth player, the only way you can do something is to try to get yourself compared. You want comparison. That's the only thing you can do to jump them in status. So how do you force comparison if you're like that fourth receiver? Or what do you know what I mean? Like, what can you do now to make them mention your name?
Aaron Hernandez wrote a letter to the Patriots, and he said, if you draft me, I'll promise you that I'll be unscathed. I think that if you
I'll kill someone.
Yeah.
If you want to separate yourself from the other ones, I feel like you gotta try to tell the organization how you want to make them. How you gonna be a contributor to the organization, not only on the field but beyond. I think that's what basically organizations are looking for, is like not only just playmakers but leaders, and leadership is hard to find nowadays.
But I don't think an email is going to cut it, Matt.
No, it's not going to be just an email. I mean, well, I'll tell you right now. What did I say? I said a letter. A letter is paper to pen. It's actually physical. An email is not. I think that a letter is.
Do you think these college kids can write a letter? A handwritten letter? I don't think they know anymore, even with how to start.
I think it shows devotion.
How to do indentation. My kids can't even answer a phone, dude. They're 17, and you're talking about these college kids writing a goddamn letter. My son had a letter, and he goes, Where's the stamp go? Shocker. Shocker. They don't know what a letter is. Man, a letter. Kev, really, you're stuck, right? If you're in those spots, because you can't get a comparison anymore. He's right. He is right that if you write a letter, you go out of your way to let a team know that, although you could come off as a stalker. So it's like, walking the fine line of that. So I guess you're stuck now, huh?
And King, I will guarantee you this. If you could find a kid that could write a letter, there's no way they'd be able to address the envelope. There's no way.
No way.
No way.
They don't know where it goes.
Yeah. Like the return address, there's no way. Yeah. So
spinning. I caught your back. All right. What's that?
Okay, King, one thing I want to bring up with the wide receivers. If you go down the list of the wide receiver prospects, you get into the teens, like around the 15th one, until you get somebody that's like 6'4". And I'm a fan of those big, huge freak guys, those athletic freaks. And there's fewer and fewer. Like Chase Claypool's a good example last year. They were saying they want to make him a tight end. He's 6'5", 220, and a burner. But there's fewer and fewer of those. You see more of these 5'9", 5'10", 180 guys than you see 6'4", 225. It's a little. I don't like it. I don't like this trend.
You know why I agree with you too? Because I got to watch Plaxico Burress abuse defensive backs game after when he wanted to play and didn't shoot himself in the leg. He would just go out and abuse cornerbacks because they couldn't get to the ball.
No.
Eli would just put it up here. When you're a freak, like you said, 6'5", 6'6", Calvin Johnson, perfect example. It doesn't matter how many guys are on him. Or Randy Moss in that same sense.
Yeah,
and not beating these guys to the highest point. And what Randy Moss is what? 6'4", 6'2", 6'4"?
6'4".
Yeah. So
6'4".
That's tall. These are tall guys.
Yeah.
I agree with you. So who's the tallest one, Kev? If you're looking at them right now, which one jumps at you? Is there one that jumps?
Yeah, I was just scrolling through it, and I noticed that there's two around the same thing, around 15. There's Simi Fehoko from Stanford, and Nico Collins from the Wolverines. One is 6'4", 227, had a decent 2020. The other one, Nico Collins, didn't even play 2020. He's 6'4", 218. But they're not until the 15th wide receiver prospect.
So 6'4", 220 something from Stanford? Sign him up. I'll take that kid.
Yeah. Simi Fehoko, 6'4", 227 from Stanford.
I would take someone of that size. You can't find anymore. Anybody like that.
Amazing. Yeah.
Matt, you're not going to pee on the camera, are you? It looks like he's about to take a whiz on the camera.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm giving my daughter some water.
Oh, is this still about Randy Moss?
All right, good. I was afraid you're going to be pissing on the camera.
Yeah.
Sorry. Kev.
Yes.
I want to go to this quick one.
All right, cool.
Offensive tackles. Tackles. All right. Oregon's Penei Sewell.
Yeah.
Everyone has him far and away the number one tackle. That's it. They've shot him to the moon, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Rashawn Slater, Christian Darrisaw.
Yep.
The guy, Jenkins from Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Taven, I forget his name. Jalen Mayfield from Michigan, right? They're all around the same type of size. But which one to you, if you're looking at them right now, because I know Matt can't look at anything right now, which one stands out to you the most physically? Because I'm noticing the longer the arms, like the guy the Jets took.
Yep.
The guy the Jets took makes now it's just you want a big dude. You just want a big dude at left tackle.
Yeah.
Who stands out to you other than Penei Sewell?
Oh, I was going to say other than Sewell, obviously he's the easy one, but I like Darrisaw. He's another one. He's 6'5", 314. That's a crazy, that's insane. He had just an unbelievable season last year. His first year he wasn't amazing. His second season he was phenomenal. In last year he had the second highest grade of any tackle in the country as in a big time program. The only one better than him was Sewell, and not by a ton. They were almost indistinguishable in terms of their breakout seasons last year. So I would go him because Slater's only 6'3", 314, and he didn't play last year. He opted out to 2020. So that's why I'd go with Darisaw.
All right. So, and Matt, for you, so I can sum this to you up. Real football fans are happy when their team drafts or signs an offensive lineman that's really good. And I think people that aren't really real football fans, they just like wide receivers and running backs and Tommy. You know what I mean? They want the pleasure positions. They don't care about the line. But the line means so much in football. It's ridiculous. It's the most underrated. It's probably one of the most underrated positions in any sports, the offensive line of a football team. Because if that's good, you're in every game. If that sucks, you're done. So Matt, these kids coming out, are they being put under too much pressure right out of the gate, the gun, however you want to call it? Or is it the way that we're shaped today, college to pro, they got to be ready, the offensive tackles?
It's funny because I'm tainted. I've seen Belichick grab fucking players from so many different. My little girl needs to be.
That's all right. That's
So
all right.
I've seen Belichick. I've seen him grab players from so many. It's coaching. You know, Scarnecchia was a great coach. He coached up a lot of players that just were just average Joes. I think that it's good to get acres in the first 10, 15 picks.
Oh yeah.
You have to get linemen in the first 10 to 15 picks.
Yep.
It doesn't matter who's drafting, who's coaching.
Yep. Let me end you with this, because we are actually at the hour mark. Kev, I'm gonna start with you first, and I'll go to Matt. Interior linemen are they now becoming the underrated position? Because they don't get drafted to the second, third round, and some of them are first-round players. Like some of them end up being, rock pieces of your line more so than the tackles.
Yeah, you're entirely right there. I mean, this is to continue what Mastradamus was saying. You look at the Patriots; they're probably the poster franchise for doing this. They always have a solid interior offensive line, and they had Scarnecchia there coaching it up for a while. But you don't have to worry about that, and you can win that battle in the trenches. You're in great shape, like you said. It keeps you in every game. Look at that team this year. They were in the game with the Chiefs. With they didn't have Cam Newton for that game. They beat the Ravens. They blew out San Diego, the Chargers, obviously, and it's because of that interior line. Those guys are unsung, but that's going to change too because like Joe Thuney in New England, he's going to either get franchised or traded. The center on the Packers, I think Ryan Lindley, I think his name is, he's going to get a big deal. So some of these guys are going to start getting paid too. But I think the tackles are the glamour position. You find bad teams take a phenomenal tackle, and if you're a bad team, you're still a bad team. You just have a really good tackle. Like it only works in situations like where you got like Tampa Bay. They drafted a rookie tackle for Brady. That works. But in other teams, if you suck with a good tackle, you still suck. You just have a better tackle.
Agreed. Matt, anything to say before we go? Because we've reached the hour. Did you hear me, Matt?
Yeah, what's that again?
Anything to say before we go?
I love you.
Kev, you all set?
I'll leave it with that.
Thank you again, then, for joining us, for tuning in. We appreciate everybody that comes to legitfantasysports.com. Please keep checking out the videos. Hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, help us get our videos in other people's streams. This was Legit Fantasy Football from Legit Fantasy Sports. It's me, Mike Lepre. Guys, please stay tuned in about 5 to 10 minutes from now for Legit Fantasy Basketball, because we just don't stop. Thank you, and good night.